In today's modern world, we dream of futuristic things. Well, flying cars may not be here yet, but eco friendly electric vehicles are smarter, sharper, and more precise than ever. We're fortunate to have with us an electric vehicle owner, Sir Abhijit Borah, retired HOD, Physics Department, Fazl Ali College, who joins me to decode the electric switch on what works, what doesn't, and what it actually costs you. So let's start the engine with our first question. So, sir, what made you decide to buy an electric vehicle car when no one else here had one? And are you the first and the only individual here in Mokokchung with an EV?
Yeah, I love tech and have been strongly influenced by science fiction movies portraying the future, like Total Recall, Fifth Element. So I could not wait to get my hands on something from the future. I simply rushed in the moment I could. Mokokchung has a lot of car enthusiasts. Unfortunately, they are still cautious and have not taken the dive to drive EVs as yet.
So, sir, how does your EV handle the hilly roads in and around Mokokchung town or maybe while traveling from your home to another place?
It handles wonderfully. Power and acceleration are an EV's forte. Makes driving a charm. Sadly, the roads of Mokokchung, like from Setsu to Lumami, is not good. I feel sorry for my car and drive very slowly.
So, what do you do if your battery runs slow while driving to nearby villages, say like Lungam or Sitze, like you've mentioned earlier also?
Thankfully, we get a good idea of the remaining battery and the distance the car will go. Those nightmarish scenarios of battery becoming empty can be avoided easily. But if it does happen, I will call a truck for towing the car to my residence. I may never recover from the embarrassment.
So, which road in Mukokchung do you find toughest for your electric vehicle and why so?
In Mokokchung, and for that matter, everywhere, potholes are the biggest challenge. The low ground clearance makes driving doubly difficult, especially for a non-expert driver like me.
And do you feel any difference in battery range when driving uphill to places like Uma or down to Tuli compared to the flat roads?
Going downhill is pleasing in any vehicle. Going down to Tuli with moderate AC consumes 5% of the battery's capacity, while returning back costs me about 36%. The roads are good these days. Going up and down and in and around Mokokchung gives me a total range of about 300 kilometers. In the plain areas, especially on the highways, I have got ranges of about 370 kilometers if I drive at 70 kilometers per hour.
We sometimes have power cuts in Mukokchung. So, how do you manage charging during those days?
I charge the car every 4 to 7 days. I don't do much driving. Power cuts are not an issue as yet.
And are there any public EV charging stations in Mokokchung or Naglen yet? And if not, where do you charge the batteries for your car?
Google Maps report one in Sunkumen fuel pump, which is not at all true. Another in BPCL station Mangkulemba. But I'm not so sure. I have not checked. I charge at home. Just like my cell phone, I plug my car overnight and in the morning it's ready.
Sounds interesting. So, how long does a full charge take at home with Mokokchung's normal power supply?
I charge at a rate of 16 amperes so that the electric grid doesn't get stressed. It takes me about 10 hours. If I upgrade my energy meter from the power department to handle 32 amperes, I would be able to fully charge the car in 6 hours. The car charging is not linear, and at present my 16 ampere charging rate, 80% of the battery would be charged in 6 hours or so. And that would give me a range of 240 kilometers.
The only thing that I know about ampere is that it is the SI unit of current. So how does your EV perform during Mukokchung's heavy monsoon? Well, is there any issues with water or the muddy roads?
Well, being a front-wheel drive, it is not an off-roading vehicle. In muddy areas, it may get stuck like any other front wheel drive car. That's a real fear for non expert drivers like me. Waterlogging areas are not an issue because the vehicle's motor, battery are well sealed and well protected. It can wade through 1 foot of water easily.
So then, does the cold weather in December or January affect your battery range here?
Not much in Mokokchung climates, but very cold and freezing weather decreases the range. This is because the battery needs to be maintained at a temperature between 15 to 35 degrees centigrade. At freezing temperatures, the range drops by about 10%. So, in extreme cold of Mokokchung, I may get around 270 kilometers of range instead of 300 kilometers.
Then how far can you go on a single charge from Mokokchung? Well, like if you have traveled to say far places like Dimapur, Kohima, or any place within or outside of the state, can you share your experience?
Yeah, I have gone to Dimapur after fully charging at home. Returning from Dimapur to Mokokchung via Tuli, I charged at my home in Jorhat. Of course, there are public charging stations there, very fast ones. I rest and refresh myself at the same time.
Is servicing an electric vehicle easy in Mokokchung? And where do you take it if there is a problem?
I have done simple repairs like fixing windshield motors at the Hyundai servicing center near Sewa Gate. But for involved servicings, we need the EV trained mechanics. For that, I go to Guwahati.
So how much do you save each month on fuel compared to when you used a petrol or a diesel car here? Like, we are really curious to know that, sir.
My EV gives a range of 300 kilometers for a full charge of its 39.2 kilowatt hour battery. This translates to 300 kilometers for rupees 275 at a rate of 7 rupees per unit. At today's petrol cost of rupees 100 per liter, we can confidently say that my EV gives more than 100 kilometers per liter or per 100 rupees.
We are also very curious to know what your neighbors and friends in Mokokchung say when they see your electric vehicle.
Well, my friends are not green with envy. Most of them are skeptic. They think I made a huge mistake in my purchase.
I really hope that you will change their perspectives. Yeah, seeing you drive it with so much of passion and so much of love and also contributing towards our environment, no sir. Then, would you recommend an EV to other people living in Mokokchung? And what one golden advice would you like to give them?
I will be qualified to recommend only after 10 years of driving. It feels good now, of course. EVs are great for hilly places. Good pickup, a good acceleration. The only downside are the bad road conditions. The golden rule is to select your EV as per your driving requirements. If you need to drive long distances, go for the ones with the bigger battery capacities. Range anxiety is a real thing. The printed range in the brochures are ideal lab conditions. Real world range is about 2/3 of that.
And have you ever faced any unique challenge using an electric vehicle that is specific to Mokokchung?
Thankfully, none so far. But if something seriously goes wrong all of a sudden, I have to carry it to Guwahati.
We pray that you face none of the problems so you don't have to call a tow truck to carry your car till Guwahati, no?
Praying every day.
Yes. Well, we have been having a very wonderful conversation with Sir Abhijit Borah. This is like rather speed, time and distance class for us. Finally, sir, would you give us some pros and cons of electric vehicle in respect to its cost, maintenance and long term? If any person is interested in buying an EV car, what are the cons and pros?
I'll go with the negatives first. EVs are expensive and the parts, they are expensive too. So maintenance cost may be a bit high, but again, they don't get spoiled very easily. But again, EVs have got low resale value and the charging station, those infrastructure is very poor. For the pros, I would say the EVs have extremely low driving costs and unbeatable driving comfort and handling. Driving an EV is a pleasure.
Well, thank you so much, sir, for sharing your insights and your experiences with your electric vehicle. It has been an honor for us to have interviewed you, and I hope that hearing your conversation, listeners who might be interested in contributing towards environment, they might also give a thought on it. And though it is expensive, as you have said, it will be beneficial for the long run. So thank you so much. This is Akashvani Mokokchung.